Masking is a way for people to try and fit in, putting on a different phase, mimicking behaviors of others, or suppressing their true self to appeal to the general public. This is not exclusive to, but mostly seen in neurodivergent people, acting more normal, so to speak. Being hyper-aware of everything you say or do for long periods of time like that is very draining, constantly having to conceal who you are just to not get shut out, suppressing bad emotions, but also good emotions, enthusiasm and passion about subjects seen as aggression and being argumentative instead, feeling overwhelmed and overstimulated, going nonverbal, needing a moment to get away, being seen as being asocial, arrogant, or even straight up rude. Gangle is quite literally masking. Although I do feel like every single mask we've seen her wear is still who she is to a degree, every mask has an emotion tied to it that fronts at that moment. Episode 4 introduces us to a mask Zubul found in their box of body parts, and unlike Gangle's regular comedy and tragedy masks, this mask is way less fragile as it is made out of plastic, which means it will be harder to break. I will get back on this later.
How's it feel?
It feels normal. Like in a good way.
That's good, right?
Yeah.
Normal. Aside from being an obvious allegory for masking, I personally found myself relating to this with taking medication. A mask that makes your brain feel more balanced, or perhaps even organized. We can tell right away with this mask that Gangle acts different. She's more confident, she's complimenting Pomni, taking initiative and suggesting an adventure. Now she states that she's worked as a shift manager before, like her life before the circus. I bet she was really hoping that, after all these chaotic and unhinged adventures, a regular day as a fast food worker would make her feel more normal. After God knows how long of being a pushover and being mistreated, she's the one in charge this time. Doing something she's familiar with, this day will be her time to shine. She starts off genuinely confident and excited, ready to face this adventure, even though it's not really an adventure. She's trying her best to motivate the others, but Jax, behaving like his usual asshole self, tries to wear Gangle down. He quickly has his behavior backfire on him though when he realizes she's not letting this slide. She wanted this so bad, so she wants this day to go perfectly. Only to quickly realize the others do not care as much as she does. They see this as yet another stupid adventure, wasting their time, wasting their energy, because it's not like this is real.
Next you're gonna say my authority isn't real.
With Jax, Gangle is used to being insulted. Of course it still impacts her, yeah, but it means less coming from his mouth because it's all that comes from his mouth. Still feeling confronted by what happened with Pomni earlier, but also this because, let's be real, what this guy said was low-key fucked up. She puts this guy in his place by making him vulnerable. I feel like this is the first time we really see Jax letting his guard down, which is probably also why he was like,
nobody can see this, right?
Later, Gangle gets confronted with yet another punch in the face. This time not from someone she's used to, but by someone who she thought she could trust and rely on. Someone who was always kind and helpful to her, but in hindsight, maybe not so genuine with her intent. Having a friend or maybe a family member tell you you're annoying when you're actually happy and excited is painful to say the least. You're finally letting all your passion out and being excited and enthusiastic, only to hear that they like you better when you're sad. Now, Ragatha obviously meant no harm here. She's drunk off her ass, and right after saying it, she goes,
"Wait, does that mean to say?"
But intent is unfortunately not always the same as impact. And oh, how it impacted Gangle. Going from excited and motivated to gloomy within a matter of seconds. I'm pretty certain it's been confirmed that leading up to abstraction, someone is less pleasant to be around. Her mask is really starting to slip here, and she's having a hard time keeping herself together. This mask went from fortunately being hard to break to unfortunately being hard to break. A mask that can't and must not slip in fear of unmasking. Being pushed to the side when you're feeling depressive and people walking all over you, yet when you finally show happiness and motivation, when you really try to show that there's more to you than just being the sad outcast, you're still not good enough. With this mask not breaking despite emotions bubbling up, Gangle decides to take a break and let it all out for a minute while no one is watching. while Pomni is watching. Surprised this mask did not make Gangle feel better. Well, at first it did. I do believe that Gangle was genuinely happy at the start, but it quickly turned into forced happiness that caused her to bottle up everything and exhaust her as well as the others around her. By the way, I think it's really funny how tired Pomni is of everything, having to constantly play therapist while she's got her own shit to deal with. I really like that they did that. Gangle briefly opens up for a minute, voicing the doubt she's had about today and Ragatha as well, and despite Pomni offering a nice, calm pep talk, Gangle quickly shuts it down and the entire conversation ends and she goes back inside, not quite ready to sit with these confronting thoughts any longer. This girl is so tired, I feel like she really wanted to talk about her own problems right here. Right before he leaves, Jax decides to shove one more insult down Gangle's throat to really rub that salt in the wound. But after working a minimum wage job for a whole day, not even putting down others could make him feel any better about himself for once. Zubul, our goat, notices how detrimental this entire day has been to Gangle and offers to drive a still drunk Ragatha home. I'm sure Ragatha hoarding some stupid sauce with her back to the circus will have no consequences for the next episode whatsoever. It was genuinely very sweet of Zubul to offer this, but now with everything cleaned up and no more tasks to distract herself with and them gone, there's no one around to play pretend for her anymore. There is no longer a reason to keep up that mask. She's left all alone with her thoughts and her emotions and her exhaustion. This scene still has me holding my breath, and I'm 99% sure that if Pomni had not interrupted this, she would have abstracted here, and a lot of other people think this too. I don't think Pomni knew just how fucked Gangle was here, but that honestly makes this scene even more impactful to me. Simple act of kindness was all it took for Gangle to snap out of it. And you don't always know just how much your actions and words could help someone, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant. Sometimes a friend is all you need. It won't fix anything necessarily, but it's still nice to not be alone. Outside, Gangle is processing what the hell just happened. We've all been there before. Stars shining down on her and letting the cost for a fake smile drop and showing a smile for real this time. A real smile on her real face. She has a moment of freedom, a moment of relief. The day's finally over, letting out all that pent-up energy and dancing under the night sky. The wind swirling around her, no longer masking, no longer feeling like she needs to conceal. Finally, after this entire day, Gangle has a moment to just breathe. I don't think this here was an allegory for suicide. Despite the circus being insanity, she's simply being isekai'd out of this boring, bland, mundane, burnout-inducing world and going back to a crazier place. Still, she doesn't magically feel alright after this. She acknowledges what happened, takes full responsibility for her actions that day, and walks out. Her character arc is not over yet, and I'm really excited to see more. Although her heart was in the right place today, intent is unfortunately not always the same as impact. She feels ashamed for how she treated the others and how some of them treated her. But our goat returns, saying that this experience doesn't really define who Gangle is, and that together they will find something that feels right. It's okay to take time to figure out who you really are, especially in a world like this. In the meantime, there's people who still care about her, and she's got a friend, whether she thinks she deserves it or not. As someone who lived 17 years of her life with undiagnosed ADHD, this episode speaks to me in so many ways, and I still feel like this video does not do my thoughts justice. I'm not always the best with words, so I'm doing the best I can. I am 20 years old now, and I still struggle with ADHD every single day. I still mask every single day. I still take off that mask when I'm alone and let all my frustrations out. I still find my heart shattered when I realize I don't appeal to certain people. There might even be more going on, and I'm still trying to take my time trying to figure that out. Crazy mood swings on a daily basis, my highs being my highest and disregarding anything negative about myself, but my lows being my lowest, completely drowning in my thoughts and spiraling over emotions that overtake me. Dealing with people who sadly just can't understand how it feels to be trapped in your own mind, and I try my best to not hold that against them. 20 years of people asking, why do you act like this? Why do you act like that? Why are you different? Why can't you remember? Or sit still? Or listen? Focus. Get to work. Stop doing that. Quit fidgeting. Look at me when I'm talking to you. Hey, are you even paying attention to me right now? Can't you talk about anything else? You're being so dramatic. You're way too excited. You're always so tired. You're too little. You're too much. You're not enough. 20 years of masking. Find people who are able to see your flaws, fully acknowledge them, and go, hey man, that's okay. I still love you. People who don't mind when you passionately gush about your hobbies, who know it's okay to have ups and downs, who don't make you feel like you have to exaggerate or conceal who you are. People who take that mask off for you and make you feel proud for who you are. Because in this world,
the worst thing you can do is make someone think they're not wanted or loved.
I'm glad you're here with me.